bench press is a very important exercise when you're doing the starting strength program. The reason we like the bench press is because it works so much upper body muscle while at the same time still incorporating the lower body. And the fact that you're laying down against something, the bench, it allows you to do more weight. Now, when you're gonna set up the bench press, this is the only exercise in the gym that you really see people die from or anything bad happen. So first, we're gonna kind of talk safety and setup. You'll notice I'm standing in a power rack. Whenever you can or whenever is possible, try to do your bench presses inside a power rack. That's gonna give you the safety pins that the bar is resting on right now, and we'll show you in a little bit where you can set them at a certain height where you can perform the bench press, but if you failed, the pins could take the bar and you could slip out. That's option one. Option two is if you're not in a power rack and you just have some uprights, something like this down here that can go on the outside of the rack and then still provide safeties if need be. Okay, whenever you're gonna bench press, if need be or if you can, it's always beneficial to have a spotter. A spotter is gonna be there in case you fail the rep, and they're going to be able to pull the bar up off of you. So let's talk setup. When we come in here, the first thing we'll do with Diana is have her come next to the bench, and we want to have the J-hooks at a height that when she's locked out at the top of the bench press and she goes straight back, they land squarely on the face of the J-hook. So an easy little drill you can do to find the correct height, just take your fist, put it against the bench at the end and see where it falls on the bar. The bar should be right at the armpit. If the bar's at the armpit, this is gonna be a good lockout position for her once she's on the bench. When I set the bench, the back of it is kind of at the bar. Now, she's gonna sit down on the front of the bench, facing forward, and pull her feet back off to the side and put them firmly on the ground. Now, the first thing I like to have the lifter do is go ahead and put your arms out in front of you like Frankenstein. So when she does this motion, I'm just gonna take my fingers and put them right between her scapula and have her retract those. Go ahead and pull that back. This is the bottom position. This is how you're gonna feel at the bottom or at the start of the bench rather. The shoulder blades are gonna be retracted back and very tight, and you're gonna keep that the whole lift. When she gets to the top, she's not gonna roll the shoulders forward between each rep. Rather, the scapulas will stay retracted, and even though the arm comes up, it doesn't roll forward. So, once we show her that, now we're gonna go ahead and have her lay down on the bench. When she lays down on the bench, the positioning is very important. You want the eyeballs just on this side of the bar. If the eyes are behind the bar, the side of the bar that I'm on, then when she's pressing the bar back up, she's most likely going to hit her J-hooks or whatever device is there to hold the bar up. So eyes just on that side of the bar. Now, back to safety. We never cross the throat with bent elbows. Okay, so for her grip, she's gonna take her hand, and a good rule of thumb, pun intended, is to use your thumb as a measuring stick, kind of from the edge of the knurling. And then she's gonna kind of rotate her hand just a little bit, putting the bar down in the bottom of the palm. From there, she's going to squeeze the bar and hold that position. The next important part for her before we take the bar out is her eye gaze. So from the moment Diana takes her grip, her eyeballs are going to be straight at the ceiling, and that's where they'll stay the entire set. 1, 2, 3, she comes up, and then she comes forward. This is the start position. The bar is right over the shoulder joint. Her feet are still placed firmly on the ground in front of her, and her eyeballs are up. So in order to execute repetition 1, she's going to take a big breath of air, lifting her chest to the bar, come down to the bottom of the sports bra, and press the bar back up. And another one, and press, new breath, and 2 more. And then when she locks it out, I as the spotter am gonna pull it back in with a little pressure to ensure it's on the J-hooks and let her come down. Now she's done her first set of 5. Go ahead and sit up. Okay, so next we're gonna talk about how we incorporate the lower body into this exercise. The way that I'm gonna do this is by utilizing my feet, which are firmly planted on the floor. So Diana, go ahead and lay back down. just like that, and get in your position. Now you'll notice when her feet are on the ground, she has a little bit less than 90 degrees of angle here. She's not way out here. If she's out here, she can't put any pressure against the floor, so she's back. So there she is in position. One of the things that I like to do with my lifters once I get them here is a little drill where I have them put their hands down at their waist and I make them think about pushing their feet into the floor. And the way that I do that is I put my hands on their shoulders and say, push me back against the wall. You can see Diana's kneecaps come back and I can feel pressure coming against me. That's exactly how it's going to be when she presses the bar off of her chest. Big breath and go. Good. She's incorporating the lower body as she does each rep. Notice that her buttocks does not leave the bench. It stays firmly planted each rep. We do not want to bridge or come off the bench. The glutes should be on the bench at all times. Okay, so your first bench press workout, you're going to simply make small incremental jumps, adding a little bit of weight to the bar each set, and you're trying to find a difficult set of 5 that's doable but challenging, and then you're going to rest a few minutes and you're going to do 3 sets total. Now, out of all the lifts in the gym, this is the one that we will never use collars on. If Diana gets stuck and she doesn't have her pin set or a spotter is not here, if there's no collars on the bar, then worst case scenario, she can dump the weight. It'll make a bunch of noise, everyone in the gym will look at her, but she'll keep her life and won't die, and so it's a worthwhile trade. Now, Diana, go ahead and lay down, and I'm going to show you what the correct pin height is and how that works. And now watch as she does her repetitions, how close she is to the pins, but she doesn't touch them. She has a little arch in her back, her chest is high, and go ahead and do 3 reps. And on the 4th one, relax your chest and let it go to the pins. She goes down, and if she can't get it, when she relaxes, the pins now take the weight. And then she can just simply roll the bar back and remove herself up from the bench. That's the correct pin height. The bench press is a great tool and a great workout to be trained very, very heavy. But you need to make sure that you either have a spotter or not using collars or your pins are set correctly. Pins are the safest and often give the lifter the most confidence that they can take a heavy rep out because they know that if they miss, they're not going to make a bunch of noise, they don't have to rely on someone else, and that the pins will be there were they to fail that rep. So that's how you bench press safely with the correct pin height.